everybody. Welcome along to the Monkey Barrel Comedy Chat Show. Please welcome along our wonderful guest for this week. It's Marjolein Robertson.
Hi, I'm Marjolein Robertson. And welcome your host, George Fox.
Yes!
Hey!
Finally, someone has some politeness and some manners.
And
Every
skills.
week for 27 weeks, I've been like, what is going on? When are they going to introduce me?
What day is it? Saturday.
So what is, I usually ask comedians, rather than asking the question of like, what is your style of comedy? What is your vibe? How would you describe your vibe to people? What vibe do you bring when you step
Amelia
in?
Baylor. Do you know, I was actually genuinely thinking about this today.
Yeah.
Well, pulling out my hand in the shower, but that's irrelevant. So I am not like kind of like just like in an amazed like I should have brushed this before I got in here.
Right.
I'm gonna ruin a
Or
waterway.
a fun kind of tee-hee, just pulling it out, having a great time.
Just get my hand stuck in my hair. But like that happened minutes ago. I was thinking about it.
Yeah.
And I think because I was thinking I come on quite happy and starry-eyed.
Yeah.
But also if like a sinister I've killed a man edge. And I practice magic. That kind of like spooky but pleasant.
You have the vibe of someone who turns up to like a house party and someone lets you in. They go, well, we must know who she is. And then slowly over the course of the night, you realize nobody knows who she is.
They let me
and
in.
she's now baking a cake in our kitchen. What do we do?
With human parts. Not from someone at the party. Someone I brought.
Oh, good. She brought in a bag and it was squelching.
Dismembered. Michael Squelch.
So for you and for people who might not have seen this podcast before, the way the show usually works is obviously Monkey Barrel Comedy has guest comedians visiting every week to do solo shows and tour shows. So this is where we sit down with them, ask them some questions, get to know them a little bit better. And usually they reveal crimes they've committed. Is there any crimes you've committed you'd like to reveal this early on in the podcast?
Just drugs yesterday.
So far it's been mostly shoplifting, but that's good too. That's good to know.
I've done lots of crimes, but just the ones that you just don't feel bad
The
about.
fun ones.
Yeah, the ones that
silly
like these
ones.
should be illegal.
Right, and also for any police officers watching the podcast, these are obviously characters that we're playing and we're just doing jokes. This is all theatrical, right?
No, this is George Fox. He's from Ireland.
So you've done lots of stuff. Like, what are some of the big hitter things that you you're proud of over the last few years that you've achieved? What are the big ones for you?
At the age of 15,
Yeah, we're going back that far. Okay.
came third
Yeah.
in the traditional section of the Young Fiddler of the Year.
Wait, there's it's broken down into sections.
Yes, there were 3 people.
I love the idea that you're like, I won Young Fiddler of the Year, and somebody was like, oh, well, which section? Come on.
Traditional.
Traditional.
I got third.
So you got third in traditional.
And
Wow.
there was 3 people.
Oh my God. So there's traditional. Is there what other categories are there?
Just the Fiddler of the Year.
Just the Fiddler of the Year.
I think you can write a tune category. There's the Junior Fiddler of the Year, the Senior Fiddler of the Year. They become like a celebrity in Shetland's eyes.
Oh, wow.
And they're normally very good.
Is there like
Well, they're
one
always
person
very
who's
good.
very famous who was like junior and then just main?
Oh,
and
yeah,
then
yeah. There's
senior?
fiddlers who you just like, they're going to win. It's like the kind of one when you're the same age as them and you're like, I might as well give up the instrument.
Yeah.
They're always going to beat me.
I love the
I'm
idea.
just happy to come third out of 3 people.
I love the idea of the internal politics of the Fiddler Awards.
Oh my gosh. Well, yeah, it's just like some people come through the ranks and you're like, there's no point in us competing with them.
They're 100% focused on.
Yeah, lie
fiddle.
about my age and come back next year.
Okay, is that the best
Repeat
thing
a
you've done
year
in your
at
life?
school just to do that. No, I've done other things. I just was thinking about that recently too.
Yeah, it's a good thing to look back on.
I've had a nice year in comedy.
Yeah.
A nice 2 years.
Yeah, nice 2 years.
Yeah,
I think
it's
you've
been
been on the
good.
up and up. Every time you put a post, it's like, well, things are going great for you.
Sacrifices work. So it's been good because I was actually doing a podcast the other day, which was meant to be 15 minutes.
Yes.
But we spoke for 2.5 hours.
Oh my God. I'm going to be cutting you off so quick.
Like an emotionally avoidant man.
Yeah. Just say man. Like a man.
Just ghost me by stopping talking to me. Yeah. And I'm like, but I
little
like you
shudder comes
more. But it was funny because I told him how I got into comedy and he's like, why did you keep going? Because there were so many hiccups.
Oh, yeah.
So many hiccups. Like when I first moved to Glasgow, all those places shut down.
Yeah.
Or that time when I got to comedy after the robbery, or like, I don't want to go into it now because it'll be 2.5 hours.
Mm-hmm.
But he was like, it's incredible, you didn't give up. And I was like, oh, yeah. Like, the first month I was ever projected to make profit from doing stand-up was March 2020.
Mm-hmm. And then we all know what happened then.
Yeah. So I think that I'm even if you feel like you shouldn't do it because everything's going wrong, just stick in with it.
Yeah, it is weird as a comedian. You're kind of you're your own hype person because
it's horrible.
Stuff goes wrong and you have to big yourself up, even terrible gigs, and you just have to go, okay, I think maybe that wasn't my fault on this occasion.
Oh my God.
Or you understand what it was. Yeah, you just kind of go, oh, okay. But then you also in comedy, you meet people who shouldn't be continuing, like who
name and shame. When
you're, especially your early days, you meet people like open spots and then they disappear, but you see that they have this dead-eyed confidence of like, nothing can stop me. This is my journey. This is my story. And you kind of go, I hope I'm not that. I hope I'm not that, like just a person who's delusional about. And like some people, it takes them a while and they figure it out. And then there's some people who are just so believing in themselves that they never put in any work to develop or change because they just want to keep, that's too much to doubt themselves.
Yeah, because I remember when I was learning about stand-up, when I was getting into it, they're like, oh, it can take several years to develop your stage voice. It's like, nah, it does. Like, if you want to have your unique voice and you want to get your way of thinking and your way of joking to come through as your on-stage presence, that takes...
Yeah.
Does take graft, but it takes graft. Like you can't.
Of course, as everything.
This is really hard. We're trying our best.
We work really hard to make it look really easy, but it's incredibly hard.
It's terrible.
But even just finding your own voice, or also doing that thing of like you have an idea in your head of a joke, and immediately you're like, oh, that's so funny. But you need to learn and work at making that joke accessible to other people. Like, what's the way that everyone can get on board with this funny idea that I've had?
And sometimes you have to learn to let it go.
Yes, you do. You do.
Oh, so there's one joke that doesn't always get a laugh, but it's making it into my fringe show, and I don't care. I don't care.
We all have those jokes where you're like, never gets a laugh, I'm keeping it. It's for me.
I had this one fringe run, like back when I was doing free fringe, like when I was just starting, and it was just a Lord of the Rings quote from Aragorn going, but it is not this day. And it got one laugh once in the entire fringe run, and I was like, that's all it needed.
That's all it needed. There was one person who saw that and was like, that's my joke. That's my favorite joke of the fringe. It's always the weirdest joke that one person will come up and be like, I love that. Yeah. That's my favorite piece. Fantastic. Okay, well, what we do to settle our guests in, just to settle you in.
To rile us up. It's like, what are you going to do?
Kind of to rile you up. Just to panic you, we're going to do an Instagram deep dive. We're going to do a social media time machine. We're going to jump back into the past.
Good luck. I deleted my Instagram back in lockdown.
A lot of comedians do that, and I can see tech producer Ewan nodding along. Oh, wow. Jesus Christ.
I genuinely thought it was going to be normal because I deleted my old one.
That took some finding.
I love that you were like, I've gotten rid of all the weird ones. You can't get me. We got you. Ewan, thank you.
This is so weird to explain.
So, for people who might be listening and not watching the video, this is a picture of you in a very dark room, and you have a candle wrapped up in your hair on top of your head. It's a fire risk is what I think.
It's actually a burning candle.
Yeah, it's a burning lit candle.
I'm wearing a wetsuit too, which is ridiculous because if it had fallen and I'd taken Lao, which is Shetland for like, going up in flames, I would have, there's nothing I could have done.
No.
The sea was too far away.
It was too embedded in your head.
Yeah. That was, to try and cut a really long story short.
Okay.
We used to play a game called Rust, which is like a multiplayer online game.
Yes.
Which
so this
is like
was you were another one of the
world.
Comedians. We were talking with Krystal Evans last week.
Yes.
Or was it last week? Was Krystal? Yeah, it was Krystal last week. We were talking to, and we talked about Krystal was one of the comedians like me and you who jumped on Twitch during lockdown.
Yeah.
Which you
that's
enjoyed
how we met. We met via Twitch.
Yeah,
we did.
We hadn't met in person until right now. Just an imaginary shit.
Boundaries.
So yes, this was on Twitch. So what were you doing on Twitch? You were doing like storytelling and...
I would tell a story every night.
Yeah.
Because I knew I didn't have the material or jokes to run the course of lockdown, however long that might be. I mean, this was still in the days of, I don't know, maybe 3 weeks.
Yeah. God, yeah.
And I would go online every night because I thought the world was going to end.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought it's the end of days. So I was up in Shetland planting tatties in every bit of ground I could to survive. I'd seen The Martian.
What?
And I couldn't watch TV. I couldn't read a book. My mind was going. But then when you walk on stage, Dr. Showbiz kicks in and you feel fine.
Dr. Showbiz?
That's a real thing.
I've never called that part of my brain Dr. Showbiz.
A real thing. He's real.
Here comes Dr.
He
Showbiz.
travels to you in the night.
Well, that's wonderful. Every time I go on stage now, from now on, I'm like, here we go, Dr. Showbiz.
When people have those dreams that aliens are probing their ass, it's just Dr. Showbiz doing a little checkup.
Thank you. That's
Is
why.
the funny still there?
That's why I always leave a little cocaine under my pillow for Dr. Showbiz.
I leave it on my pillow next to my nose. So Dr. Showbiz is the phenomenon.
The phenomenon.
Where you're feeling poorly and ill and you're like, oh, I don't feel well. And you walk onto stage and you immediately, your body feels fine because adrenaline kicks in and you're just fine. But when you walk off stage, you can be like, ugh. I'll be ill again.
I remember one of the most intense times that happened was when I was doing a show and I was suddenly like, they moved around the lineup. I was like, oh, I'm going to go to the bathroom. The guy was like, no, you're on next. And I was like, what? I was like, I really got to go to the bathroom. He's like, no, you're on next. I was like, I got to do 40 minutes. I can't do it. So
40 all of a sudden.
Yeah. So he was like, we're going to
Sounds
have
like a
you.
Dublin story.
It's a Dublin story, yeah. We're going to have you do 40 minutes in this section and then a person who's in a rush is going to do 20 minutes at the end. It was insane. But I got on stage and then just suddenly was like, oh, I don't have to go to the bathroom. And then did the whole set, came off stage and was like, I still don't need to go to the bathroom because it just clicks in.
Yeah.
It'll just make you hold everything. Even a sneeze, you'll just be like, boom.
Yeah.
Dr. Showbiz.
I've sneezed on stage like once in my life.
Yeah.
Actually, I think I have sneezed on stage once in my entire life.
Yeah.
As well, because I sneeze a lot.
I had last year when I got COVID afterwards, I lost my hearing on the left-hand side and I just didn't tell anyone because I was like, Mr. Showbiz won't allow me to tell anyone. So I was just doing gigs and just like turning to that side like, what's that? What's that audience member? Okay. Just completely deaf for a month.
You compare.
Yeah, I would compare and I'd be like, huh? What's that? Good.
Give me a cheer. This side sucks. I want more energy from you.
But yes, for a couple of months, I would just focus on the right-hand side of the room a lot.
So for the context of the candle here,
Yes.
basically I was on an online game that's run by Limmy where we could do whatever we wanted and make our own worlds and houses and bases.
Yeah, a game called Rust, I believe.
Game called Rust. And I made the community, which was definitely not a cult. And I was the moon and my friend Bammer was the sun. And we had a big harvest feast where we killed everybody. It was a good time. And the community, we branched out into other things in the future. We made Normal Street where we were normal, where we killed everybody.
I believe at one point I remember seeing you made Coronation Street.
We made Coronation Street 2 where I was Sally Webster. Oh, Kevin, get the girls. And then we made a friendship train and then we crash landed into a new planet after we made a rocket and flew off into the sun. It was a lot of fun. Just classic.
There was a lot of
lockdown.
flexible stuff you could do in Rust, but it always seemed like you would do something very wholesome with people and then eventually go feral. Those are the two things that would happen.
That is like my stage persona.
Yeah, I think that's society. That's humans. Let's build society. Let's build community, and then at a certain point, let's go feral.
Yeah, it's like any woman playing Sims. I like a beautiful house. And then I'll kill them all.
Just put them in the pool, and I'll take that ladder away, and they'll slowly drown. I watched Furiosa, the new Mad Max movie, and in that, after the end time, like the whole story's told by a storyteller, like a narrator, the storyteller. Which
I could have done that.
That entertainment. That's what you were. You thought the world was over, and you're like, I'll be the storyteller. All my stories will be fucking insane.
Tell my stories to the dust.
Gather around, children. Let me tell you the story of Mr. Showbiz.
Remember touching?
Oh God!
Can you remember what people's mouths look like?
People's mouths. What's
People
a mustache? So our next part is we've some wonderful questions from last week's guest,
Krystal
Evans. Now we'll watch Krystal's clip and we'll see what questions.
I love Krystal, even though I said Krystal and glared.
Hi, Marjolein.
Hi,
hope you're well. Okay, so
she didn't ask.
What is your favorite dinosaur from dinosaur times? Question number 2.
No, that's scary.
If you were living in Middle Earth, what bit would you live in, and what kind of a creature would you be, and why? And number 3, you want to come over to my house for a games night? It'll probably be on Sunday, which is for you, that'll be tomorrow.
Oh no, I'm busy.
In the evening, if you're available. My Aunt Kelly's in town. She's very fun. Bye.
Did Krystal just invite you and not me in that video? What the fuck was that?
Right there as well.
Well, Ewan as well, yeah.
Ewan's right there, George.
No, Ewan got a text, I'm sure.
Did Krystal text you, Ewan?
No. This is
Ewan,
officially.
do you want to be my +1 to Krystal's?
I would love to.
Okay.
Do you know what? Fuck you, Krystal. We're done with Krystal. Fuck Krystal. We're doing our other part. We'll come back to Krystal. I'm livid with Krystal. We're doing a game we have.
This is moving too fast.
I'm gonna freak you out with this podcast today. So this is a game that we have that we play. It's called 2 Comedians, 1 Cup, brackets each. 2 comedians, 1 cup each. So I'm going to give you your cup.
So I just want to say something. I've done a Monkey Barrel podcast before, and it was Sam's.
Well, these are 2 stuck together.
More cups.
Oh, there we go.
There's 2 of them.
And when I did Sam's, there's the screenshot they used for me doing Sam's was me doing this exhale like this. And I keep trying to not do it anymore because I don't want to ever have that screenshot again. I think I've done like 3. Or we flip cup.
What was the image you did?
I don't want to do it.
Do it again. Just do it again right now. Do it right now. It's a thumbnail, everybody.
I
Ready?
put makeup on so I look nice.
Thumbnail. Here we go. Perfect.
I'm trying to look pretty today. I'm trying to be pretty. I've been bleeding. I want to feel like a pretty lady.
Well, you shouldn't have done the face then. No one forced you. Okay, so this is a game we're going to play. We're going to have 30 seconds. We're going to flip this cup down like that. And then we're going to have a choice of 2 embarrassing questions. Whoever wins gets to choose which of the 2 embarrassing questions.
Okay, can I move my mic? Because
Absolutely.
I feel like you have the upper hand. Are you right-handed?
I am right-handed, and people have pointed at it before, and I don't want one single left-handed comedian on this podcast ever.
Ew,
How dare they?
Who was that?
I don't want any left-handed
Who is
comedians.
left-handed? Shoot them in the head.
Okay, so we're going to try and flip this.
Which way round?
So it's this way,
No.
and we try to get it to land like that.
Right?
Am I correct? I think so. God, we've changed each
Ewan's
week.
watching us on the screen. I just thought he was ignoring us. He's looking not at me, and I'm like...
Ewan is so rude. Not looking once. Whatever. What is it?
Didn't
Formula
take his hat
1?
off to greet me. Neither did you, actually, boys.
I did stand up
Lovely
and I
hats.
saluted.
Where's
A
your
nice
heads?
salute. Okay, 3, 2, 1.
You went through one.
Oh, did you do it?
Yeah.
You just did it?
Wait, do I have to keep going?
No, you've won.
Oh.
And that was the end of that part of the show, everybody. Wow. Sometimes it goes on way too long, and sometimes it doesn't even barely happen.
I thought it was as many times in 30 seconds. I was getting really stressed.
Oh, that's a good idea. As many times in 30 seconds. Let's go.
No, I've already won.
Oh, damn it. Well, poor luck for next week's guest when we will put that into operation. Okay. So questions, your choice of embarrassing questions to ask are biggest fashion faux pas, and which comedian's joke do you wish you could steal? Like, you could just take it from them. It's just yours.
Oh, God. So
You can choose which of those embarrassing questions we need to answer.
So I used to wear weird things to school, and I don't think they were faux pas.
Okay.
Like
they can
one
just
day
be, for
I
you, they
wore
can be good.
a
But
curtain.
Oh, yeah? You wait? Sorry. So much weird has happened that you said that and my brain didn't even register.
So I think I'll
okay.
pick the other question.
So you're going to pick the other question?
Which comedians?
Which comedian's joke would you steal? Would you take for your... So you erase it from their set. It's yours forevermore. Everyone associates it with you.
I need to breathe out. I'm overwhelmed by all the jokes I want.
Yeah. Doesn't have to be your number one. I won't. Oh, it's. I should point out this won't actually happen.
I watched a few bits recently, and I was like, I wish I had all those bits. You know what I mean? But I think it's because you're getting close to the fringe. You're like, I wish all that was
is
mine.
it just one comedian as well? Like, I wish I was
I
Roscoe.
watched one comedian do it. Oh my God. Incredible. Slugs in my bin, man.
Let's do our best impression of Roscoe doing a bit, a new joke. Here's my Roscoe bit. What do you think of bath towels? I can imagine Roscoe doing 15 on bath towels.
Have you ever tried the condensation on the window? It's really good, man. It's really good.
It's delicious.
And that's like, aye, that'll be him.
You'll do a bit about that now. So whose joke would you steal, do you think?
Oh, I'm overwhelmed by this question.
Well, I can tell you who I'd steal.
What? Okay, who would you steal?
I would take Mark Jennings has a wonderful joke about Northern Ireland.
Oh, the trans joke.
Yeah, his joke about like, and I feel like an Irish person should have come up with that. And I've said it to Mark multiple times. Like, it's great. It's one of my favorite jokes. But an Irish person or Northern Irish person should have come up with that, not someone in a different country. But it's so perfect of a joke. I remember saying to Mark, I was like, when you put that out online and Irish Twitter sees it, they're going to lose their mind, as they did. The second it went out and it went viral, I was like, I knew it would. But that's such a perfect little joke. That
is such a good joke.
Yeah. So have you thought of one you would steal?
I'm just thinking of everyone's jokes ever and being like, well, what would suit me? But I get that when you see one line and you're like, that's a killer line.
Yeah. I should also point out that I want that joke so I could perform it because it's so great. It's not like I was like, I want to take that away from Mark Jennings. It's not like a weird, I want to take that from him. No.
It's a bit. He's got enough.
He's got other great bits.
He's got enough going on. I am scared that I'm going to spend so long thinking about what this would be that I can't think of it. I would like to take...
Whose vibe even would you like to have for a while? Like, would you keep your own vibe? You like your vibe? That's good.
I'm trying to think of who's got like a creepy ass joke that because do you know when you see things you're like, oh, that's such a good story.
Yeah.
But then it's not happened to you. Like I'm one of those anal people where I won't say anything on stage that's not true.
Yeah.
Chortle, stop telling people I'm making stuff up. Oh my God.
What a review.
Chortle's been like, it's a bit unbelievable, some of the things. I'm like, this happened. I don't make stuff up. I talk about true events.
Have you ever had somebody like approach you for something you've written or something that's happened to you that you maybe haven't turned into a story yet and be like, oh, could I do that as a joke? Because I had that once where
someone came to something that happened to you and
something
they asked
happened to
me
and I told them about it and they were like, they've messaged me multiple times over the years and said, can I talk about that on stage? Because whenever I tell it to people, they laugh so much. And I'm like, yeah, it happened to me though.
Yeah, no.
You lunatic.
I know. That's a really weird thing to ask.
Really weird.
Like I know when you're riffing with another comedian, just having a funny conversation and you make a few jokes about something, you're like, oh, that'd be such a good bit. Like which one of us gets that bit?
Yeah.
Because I riff that, you riff that. But like that's coming up with something together, but actually just a story that happened to you and they want to take it for themselves.
He was just like, can I start doing that on stage? And I was like, no. Have
you started doing it on stage since?
I've told it on podcasts. I've told it like in my show. Like it was so weird to get that message.
Was it about you having inflamed bowels and going to hospital for 10 days and then Liam Withnail stole it and made a show about it?
It was about well, see, if I say what it's about, then the person might see this and be like, oh, it was me.
That moves.
Yes, it does, but it's hanging up, so don't worry.
Okay.
Or you rip through there's another better podcast on the other side. That's how you get it. It's like an escape room. There's 3 podcasts next to each other. You got to get to the last. Excuse me, Sam Lake is through there. Sam Lake should be in here. I should be in here.
I should be in Sam Lake.
Okay. Would you take any of Sam Lake's jokes? Would you?
No.
Maybe Sam Lake's one of his Hawaiian shirts?
Oh, this is really annoying me that I can't think of what bit I would want to have. I'm sorry. I feel like the conversation's going dead because my brain is overwhelmed with every joke that's out there.
It's fine. You can jump back to the other question. What was the other question that we had?
What is the most embarrassing thing you've worn?
Like fashion faux pas. I remember when
I don't get embarrassed.
Yeah?
I don't think I really get embarrassed.
What do you mean you don't get embarrassed?
Like I'll just wear anything. The other day I almost wore red shoes, red trousers, red jacket and a red baseball cap. And I did too much. I put on a black jacket. Nice.
Okay. You were
it's like... also the first day of my period and I was like, what am I trying to tell the world? Stay away from me.
Don't talk to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you've got like a good you've got like a vibe. I hope this doesn't come across as an insult. You have a vibe of like you could be like a children's entertainer with that. You know, like when a children's entertainer comes out and they're like, "Hey, everybody," and it's exciting and fun, and like whatever they wear, it works with their persona, their vibe. I feel like you've got that. Like you're wearing a yellow jumpsuit, and there wasn't even a question in my head when I saw it. I was like, "That's a Marjolein item."
Thank you.
Yeah, good. Did that? Nobody's insulted. Good.
I'm not insulted.
I've said this to people before. Where
Why
it's
were
like,
you thinking you're insulting me?
well, I said to somebody before. I was like,
Should
got
I
like
be
a children's.
insulted?
Oh God. Oh, what have I done? Oh, Sam. Let's start the next podcast. Get that ready to rock and roll.
Not right on, Sam. Yeah, let me think of the joke later on in this podcast. I'll scream out a joke and be like, "I wish that was my joke."
We can come back to it. All right, let's return then to.
Because I do get that a lot. I go up to comedians and one of the things I say is like, "Oh man, that bit's so good. It's so good. I wish I'd written that."
Yeah.
But now that I'm put under the pressure of the spotlight,
I do the same thing. I go up whenever I see Liam with Nail do a new joke. I go up and I go, "I do not want that." No.
rude.
Not for me, Liam. And Liam's like, "It wasn't offered. It wasn't. What are you talking about?" I was like, "Nah, just letting you know."
That was more joke.
Why would you do that, George? Sorry, Liam.
I love West Ham. West Ham. There's no H. So.
Okay, so we
Liam
watched the
Whitnell.
clip from Krystal.
Oh yeah.
So a thing that we've also been doing is we've been keeping track of the times that comedians take to send in those clips. So we record with them, then we send them a message.
Like she sent it today.
Do you think that? So you're going to think today?
Yesterday.
So
I think she sent it yesterday.
We've had Gareth. Gareth was sent it in 25 minutes when it was requested. The guest after Gareth sent it, I think, a half an hour before we started recording. So the amount of time you think it was today?
I think she sent it yesterday afternoon.
Yesterday afternoon. Okay. Ewan?
So from the time that I asked her
Yeah.
till when she sent it, it was about, I think, 14 hours it took her.
14 hours. So that would have been...
But to be fair to her, she made questions for another guest beforehand, which had to get rescheduled.
Yeah.
Why
And
did
that
she
took
get to
her-
ask two guests?
Well, it was, the guest was supposed to come in today,
Yes.
but we had to reschedule it.
We should reschedule it.
wait a minute. Is that why I got asked so last minute?
What?
Who was
The audio gone out?
who was meant to be in my seat?
It's not important.
Who? I want to know.
No, it's all good.
I want to know because I'm going to steal one of their jokes. This is the question. Who was it?
It was Ben Pope, who we should hopefully have back in the future.
I know Ben.
Yeah, Ben's very nice. Would you steal one of Ben's jokes?
Not Ben's jokes. Very different.
I'm so sorry, Ben. I knew that was going to happen, and I was trying to we just had a guess. We just had any guess.
All
Don't
the
worry
jokes
about
I'm
it.
thinking about are the funniest jokes about bodies and corpses and death. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
Like I'm thinking, like, because two of my favorite jokes ever is Elliot Steele's joke from his show last year, the one that makes people faint when he's talking about blood.
Yeah.
And my other favorite joke ever is Gareth Much's joke about his dad, which has made people upset, which is about blood.
Yeah.
But I can't really do Elliot's one because I physically can't do what he spoke about.
Yeah. Okay. But you could do it, and then Chortle would write, very unbelievable. And then you're like, sorted, good, perfect. Chortle fine. Or
They
Chortle
couldn't
would probably
say that
do a
because
review.
they would seem very.
Well, they're the opposite. They'll be like, an incredibly believable bit of material.
I used to do a bit about pooling, and I was very clear in my bit that a kiss counted.
Yeah.
So I talked about bagging off with 52 people in a year,
Yeah.
and I was like kisses, and then I do a joke about 48 were anal, but I had a joke about that, and it was 52 people I pulled, and then when they wrote the review, they're like, Marjolein shagged 52 men, and I was like,
God. Oh, no. No.
it makes me want to cry.
That's weird because when we had Sam Lake
What
on,
does
Sam Lake.
this man think of me? Like, I'm not shaming anyone who slept with 52 men in a year, but I was just like, it was a drunk fun challenger union. I was like, let's give it a go.
Sam Lake must have seen that article because when we asked Sam what material would you steal, he was like, I want Marjoleин's bit about fucking 52 guys in
Did
a
he
year.
say that?
No. You had different questions.
You built me up and knocked me down.
I know.
Does anybody want any of my
It's
jokes?
the kind of sassy
No.
thing Sam Lake would say.
No.
Okay, so you in terms of time with Krystal Evans, you were pretty close. You're pretty close. That was pretty good. So let's go to Krystal's questions then. Krystal's first question was, what is your favorite dinosaur from Dinosaur times?
I don't like this question because last night We got high, watched Jurassic Park, because I said I've never seen it the whole way through in one sitting.
Oh, really?
But we actually had to stop because it was very late. We all got sleepy.
Oh, yeah.
And then I went to bed, and then I went to sleep, and then I had a nightmare about dinosaurs. That's like a child.
How could this happen? I don't know what series of events led to this. What are some of the actions that caused this?
Scary dinosaur.
Did you also eat a load of cheese just before you went to sleep just to make sure you had a nightmare?
No, actually. I
cheese
didn't
apparently...
hit the dairy last night like I normally do before bedtime.
Oh, wow. This explains so much. Is this a podcast or an intervention?
Oh my God. Do you dream? Like, this is one of the things is like, I don't drink anymore, but I kind of miss drinking because sometimes when I drink, it would shut my brain off enough because when I don't, like, my dreams are so intense.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I'm just like in the same... Like, there's these places I go to in my dreams where I keep going back there, and it's like the back rooms, and every time I go a bit further into it, and there's like a new monster, and it's like stressful.
I would only dream when I'd been drinking. Like, if I got drunk, I would have a dream, and then the rest of the time, nothing.
You don't have dreams?
No, it's really upsetting. Because I wake up in the morning, I'm just like, ugh, all right, back again. Like, it doesn't feel like my brain's been cleared out. I used to, but not anymore. And then if I get drunk, I'll have super intense dreams, and then wake up.
That's bizarre. Dreamland is a place where I go.
It's unfair because, like,
it's nice because I also get dreams when I can control the dreams. I also get dreams when I dream things that are happening. So when I wake up, I know what's going on in the world.
Yeah. Do you ever get those dreams where something horrible happens and you wake up and you go, "Oh, thank God, that wasn't."
Yes, but I also get them when something horrible's happened and it's actually happened.
Oh, that sucks.
But I do get those ones when you think you've just like killed a person and then got caught.
And got caught. And then how will I live with the shame? And then you wake up and you go, I'm going to live fine with the shame.
I've been killed in my dreams and died and then come back again.
Yeah. Those are always good.
I dreamed what happens before we're born. Seen that?
What was it?
Place. Well, it's a maybe too intense a story.
Okay,
but
I've
been to the place we are before we come to here.
I love that we're talking about
nice,
this.
And we'll go back there again.
I love that we're talking about this. And the question again was, what's your favorite dinosaur?
I like the one of the 3 spikes. Triceratops.
Triceratops
That's
is pretty
quite
good.
Cute. But it was ill in Jurassic Park.
It was. It was a huge pile of shit. Jeff Goldblum said.
Okay, so in Jurassic Park... You're all running around. And there's that woman, the babe, what's her name?
Oh, yeah. Ellie or something.
Ellie? And the one who's going out with Sam Neill. Her and Sam Neill are a couple.
Yeah.
So we've got the babe and Sam Neill. And then what's his face? The fly man.
Jeff Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum. I know that actress's name and I feel bad I've forgotten it.
No.
But anyway, so we'll call her the babe.
There's Ian Malcolm, I think.
No, it's
in the movies. What he's called? It's called Ian Malcolm. I always remember as a kid.
What is the lady's name? Would you remember her actor name, her real name, her character name?
I do, but now that you've asked for it, it's gone out of my brain. Of course.
Anyway, let's call her Gloria Scheinfeld. So she's in the car with Jeff Goldblum, and he's just flirting with her and touching her hand, and she's like, "Sam Neill, look at this! Like, get him off me!" And Sam Neill's just like. Just ignoring her. But there's a bit in the film where the last time we see her, she's like, "I want to look at more of this poop." And we leave her. We stick with Sam Neill and the kids where they're like running around and surviving for their life.
Yeah.
We see her eating ice cream with the old professor.
Yeah.
Then she's like, I'm going to go back out and look for Sam Neill. No, it's even before that, sorry.
Yeah.
Basically, what I'm trying to say is, we see her say, I'm going to go look for more dinosaur poop.
Yeah.
They're the Triceratops. The next time we see her in an outside clothes, it's a yellow rain jacket and it's covered in shit.
Really?
Yeah, she's like rolling around.
This is like an edited scene where she's just rolling around.
There must be.
Well, maybe they just both have a kink. Hers is dinosaur shit, and Sam Neill's is just being cuckolded. He's just looking in that rear view mirror at her being touched. He's just sweating.
He's the reason there's those chairs in hotel rooms. I only learned about those. Yeah, I only learned about those a year ago. I was like, oh, that's where he'd sit if I had a husband and another man to nail me.
Yeah. I feel if you want to buy like a chair, it's a good idea to like go onto like a cuckold forum and say like, hey guys, what's the best chair? Because they're going to know the best chairs to sit in, the most comfortable chairs, right?
I just have a thing about having empty chairs where you sleep because I think it just invites ghosts to sit there and watch you. No one else.
Well, you'll have to see. Who's the weird one now?
It's a ghost chair for ghosts. That's what I always thought it was.
I put a ghost chair and I face the wall, so they have to face in.
Oh, I know, because the walls are portals. You'll just get them focusing all their energy on it. God. Anyway, I like a triceratops.
Triceratops. Oh yeah, that's the question. I just remembered. What's our favorite dinosaur? Good, we got there. Question number 2: if you were living in Middle Earth, what bit would you live in, and what kind of creature would you be?
Krystal's question. This is a gift to me. This is a gift.
All right,
love
I'll
it.
have a drink of water. We're gonna get ready, everybody.
So, like,
here we go.
I would want to be like, I am the elf, but I know I've got the energy of a hobbit. Like, I know this. Like, the meals, the running around barefoot.
They're very like quaint and silly and running in.
The doors being weird.
Yeah.
Like,
and
all
like being
the
like,
doors in my house in
okay,
Shetland don't have
wizard,
door
you keep your
handles.
secrets. That kind of vibe.
Secrets. So, yeah, just like, but just going on an adventure. So for like elderly man, like, come with me. Like, okay.
Yeah, and they're always very like, I don't want to go on an adventure. Not an adventure. Okay, I'll go on an adventure every single time.
Also, I'm just so tiny. But answering
I
all
could
that,
imagine you living in one of those little hill houses as well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But I feel like my people are Rohan because they're like the Norse people. Even though they're inland, and that's a weird thing to do with Vikings, so they have to, go on horses the whole time.
Yeah.
And I'm not
No
a
ships
horse
at all.
person. But I just like that tune they have.
Lighting the beacons as well. That's very fun.
Anyway, yeah, so I want to say Rohan. I want to say elf. I'm not that classy.
Yeah.
I want to say Rohan, but I know I'm a hobbit.
But elf works for you because they're very secretive. And what is Shetland if not secretive and hidden away?
Stop talking about it. It's not your knowledge to share.
It's not my... I don't know the magic rules.
Shh, the Heilman, arse and arse alone.
So yes, you'd go for Hobbit, do you think? Or Rohan is what you think you are?
I'll go for Rohan because I want to fight a bit more.
Okay, they're kind of the main fighters of that. They'll love a good fight. And question number 3 is: do you want to come over to my house for a games night? It will probably be tomorrow night. Aunt Kelly's in town. She's very fun.
Yes.
So I think you said you're busy.
Aunt Kelly's in the end of Krystal's show.
Oh yes,
Remember,
of course
that's
I
an
do.
Aunt Kelly cameo.
Yeah. I had a great moment with Krystal where a lot of her family had come to see her show, and I bumped into them afterwards, and I was like, "Hey, great job!" And like her uncle was there, and I was like, "Oh, isn't she great?" And then apparently when I walked away, her uncle was like, "I know that guy. I watch him try things on the internet on a YouTube channel." So he'd seen me in Irish people try videos, and he's like, "I know him. I've watched him before." So Chris was like, he just kept fucking talking about that.
Yeah, so all the family had finally come to see her show that she's worked on for years. And
I walk in like, "Hey, it's me."
There's an Irish guy who eats chocolates.
Yeah, I had a few biscuits and then I was real bitchy about them. See you later. 18 million views. I didn't do anything.
I'm only here for the biscuits.
Yeah. So yes, the answer I guess there is you would want to go over.
I would
for
want
the
to
games
go
night.
over, but I have to go to a birthday meal in Glasgow, and I'm very worried about it because the birthday girl messaged me today and was like, "Are you 100% confirming? Because if people pull out before 24 hours for the meal, they still get charged."
Oh,
and I'm like,
it's one of those.
I don't think I can afford to eat tomorrow. I think it's gonna be one of those classics. If it's not a fixed menu, I'm gonna eat a lot of food before the restaurant.
Oh.
I'm like, I just want a water. One day.
Is the bread free? That kind of question. All right, I'm going to throw in an extra question because that one was a bit short.
Stop.
If you were a ghost, what kind of where would you want to hunt? That's my question for you.
Well, I would think I'd be a.
Or who would you want to hunt?
I would be.
You could also choose a person to hunt.
Oh my God.
That's
just
pretty good.
So perverted, it's untrue.
That's going to be our question from now on. End of the episode. If you were a ghost,
Yeah,
who
because
would
you know
want
when people
to
like
hunt?
haunt people they're mad at, but you don't want to hang around people you're mad at and just like be in their presence.
Imagine being stuck around Nigel Farage. And also you get hit with milkshakes most of the time. You probably have to be quite close by to him.
Yeah, I think I would be a Finny.
Yeah.
It's a Shetland kind of ghost. And well, I'll tell you what ghosts do. Because right now we're living in the existence of the sense of taste and touch.
Okay.
this is the world we're in. Mm-hmm. We're inhabiting this kind of realm where we can taste and touch things. But I think when we move on, there's other realms where that's not the
most important thing.
Yeah, this is a very sensual realm we're in right now.
Yeah, maybe sensing other people's thoughts, maybe.
Yeah, so I
maybe
think
Wi-Fi is really great.
Yeah, and experiencing things. But the thing is, when you're alive on this earth, you don't get to see everything. But when you die, before you move on, you can just travel and see all the things you always wanted to see.
That's very nice. I always wondered if the reason we don't, because we obviously, people used to say they see ghosts all the time, and in the modern era, everybody has a camera on their phone, but the amount of pictures that are of ghosts has dropped significantly over time, which makes it think, oh, maybe there's not ghosts, but maybe the way Wi-Fi works, it tunes into ghosts. So every time you send like a text or a tweet, it attaches itself onto a ghost, fires them up to space at the speed of light, and then they get fired down to someone else's phone. And maybe the Afterlife's a nightmare of people being used to bounce messages and Wi-Fi around.
Awful. We should
if we all just turned off our
phones.
Wi-Fi for one night, there'd be ghosts fucking everywhere, and they'd be livid. Well, why did you send that dick pic at 4 a.m? I can't find my wife.
Ghosts were actually of solid matter, and when you saw them, you would just know it was a ghost if you knew that person had died. Otherwise, you'd just be like, hey, it's a person.
Yeah.
It's only in the Victorian era and stuff when they started with cameras.
Yeah.
And they started doing like strange...
The
like,
imagery and stuff. Yeah.
burning on. That ghosts became like more like...
Ooh, they're transparent. They're kind of...
Yeah, because ghosts used to just be like, people, I've seen a ghost.
Yeah.
It's just like seeing a person.
Did you get a weird kind of, oh?
I knew they were dead.
Okay.
And they would call me.
I feel like
it's a long story. I've seen a corpse as well.
Oh, great.
Yeah. You're Irish.
Yeah, I've seen
that's
a corpse,
a weird
of course.
question.
That was weird.
Don't you have open casket funerals?
You're Irish. You've got blood on your hands.
But I mean, you have open casket funerals?
Yes, we do,
so
yes.
I could have riffed with jokes there, but I'm like,
Thank you for stopping.
Marlon thinks George started the Troubles. Troubly George.
If I was involved, it would have been called the kerfuffles. So it would be like, ooh, whoops. Okay, well, listen. What?
Have you said that on stage?
No, I haven't.
Would you?
I'll try it tonight. We're doing a show, and an hour from now, we'll try it there.
Jeez Louise, I'm on this, am I?
I believe you are. Yes,
Okay.
Our guest will be on. So, yes, for people who are watching at home, if you ever want to see live comedy, I host the Monkey Barrel show at 5 p.m. every Saturday.
Maybe they don't want to see.
They
live
might
comedy.
not. They might
want
this
to
is
have
all
a
I
little
want.
sit down.
Yes, but
is
our show's quite chill. But the guests that I have on here, after I record, we do a show together, which is great. Is there anything you'd like to plug and tell people about that you've got coming up in the future? Your Fringe show, podcasts. I know you're doing that new Kickstarter with 1030 from Twitch and Scroobius Pip.
We
and
got
that's
the
gone
money.
great. You
We
got
don't
all
need
your
to
money.
talk about that.
Well, you can still tell people that it's coming.
Oh, it's coming.
Okay. No more information. Mysterious.
So on the edge of this project. Yeah, it's Scroobius Pip and 1030 and Dando. You might know Scroobius Pip from his music. Mm-hmm. And he does a lot of creative stuff. In fact, he was just recently in House of the Dragon.
Yeah.
So we all met via streaming on Twitch in Rust when I had the camera in my hair.
Yeah, I remember.
And he's got this amazing project and we've got funding and
That's
it's going to
great.
happen. And I feel like I've been so on the edge of helping. I've been like, oh, look at this. But they've all, so I almost feel like a fraud talking about, especially now we've got the funding.
Yeah,
But if you want to give
but
us more money, just,
You also
do it.
have, and I hope this doesn't come across insult, you have the vibe of like a ghostly folklore creature.
That's why I do.
Yeah, that's your vibe. You kind of float in and it's like, Marjoleine's here. Oh my God. And then suddenly you're gone. You're like, was she ever here?
Was she alive? I have a Fringe show.
Yes.
That's what I should probably plug.
Definitely plug that.
When does this podcast come out?
So this will be coming out in about 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So before middle of July, probably for people watching this, before August.
Please come see my Fringe show. It's called O, or like it's called Marjolein Robertson O, because everyone has to put their names for the Fringe shows.
Yeah.
I want too many letters. One day I hope to be a comedian.
Yeah.
In fact, if I could rip anything from another comedian, I would rip the idea of just being one name.
Oh, yeah.
I want to be
Cher.
just Marjolein.
Yeah.
Because it's still 9 letters.
Yeah.
It's still longer than Sam Lake.
It is. It's pretty long.
His 7 letters, Marjolein is 9 for one name. It's too many.
Yeah.
But I'm doing a show called O, and it's in Monkey Barrel Comedy Club.
It is.
in
The
Hive
synergy.
1. And it's, if you have a strong aversion to blood, I wouldn't recommend it.
Okay. But if you've seen the movie Carrie, is it going to be more or less?
I don't want to say.
Oh,
but but it is a show that has potential to save lives because it's about a time where I should have died years ago. Maybe I am a ghost. That's why I don't age.
If I find out later on you're a ghost, I'm going to be so livid. I'm going to be so furious. This podcast is released and it's just me just reacting to just an empty seat, and I'm like, what a weird thing to say. That's quirky.
Ewan's like, the guest will be coming any minute now. Ben Pope will be here any minute now, and he's used up all his questions.
Ewan's just thinking like, wow, Josh really rehearses before a podcast. Really goes all the way through. Fantastic. Well, thank you for joining us today.
Was
as our
this
guest.
okay?
Yes, this was great. If you want to see more of both of us, you can check me out on twitch.tv/Fox Comedy, where I stream Sunday to Thursday. Are you going to be jumping on Twitch again in the future?
I mean to. Well, then I have no idea.
Yeah, we'll check you out. What's your Twitch?
No,
TV?
let's not put Twitch down.
Okay.
I don't know. Let's not give them false hope.
Someone just waiting at their computer, setting it up.
I've got a desktop computer.
Yeah.
And it's in Shetland.
Oh, okay. Well, then
so
yes.
that's how I need to stream.
That's yeah.
And right now I'm doing here with this laptop, but the camera doesn't even work in it.
Okay.
I covered it in tape for so long that when I eventually took the tape off, I realised it never worked.
Never worked at all. Well, at least you know no one was watching you, or it doesn't work because someone's always watching you.
God.
What a nice thought to leave everyone with.
As a child, I had this obsessive idea in Kirk that when you're praying and your eyes are shut, if your eyes are open, that there's two men watching you at all times through a screen. But then I was like, but then who watches the Watchmen, which I didn't even know what I was saying. So I imagined two more people watch those people, and then two more people watch those people, and two more people watch those people. And I think I just wrote The Matrix during a prayer in Sunday school.
Sounds like you reinvented Twitch there. Well, thanks for tuning in to this episode, everybody. Please follow Marjolein on all the social medias. If you enjoyed this, please review it, send it out, share it. It massively helps us out. Thanks for watching. Hope from myself, I should say, from George Fox, from Marjolein Robertson, from Ewan, our wonderful producer behind the scenes. Have a wonderful week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Are you a ghost? Oh my God.
There's something hiding under the ice, imitation of a sound. There's something standing behind the door. Would you like